149. Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. Too sweet. Anyway, you know what time it is. I'm a little late to the party by an hour or so, but the West is finally solved. Their standings are in order. Their playoff matchups are set. So, video after this, it's going to be another prediction video, but I'm going to go over my predictions from the beginning of the season as far as the West Division is concerned. Let's discuss. So if you haven't seen the original prediction video and don't want to be spoiled before figuring out how this went, here's where you want to go. And quick rundown. The West Division was made up of all the Pacific teams, as well as 2 teams from the Central. So your chances of an actual Pacific team winning the West Division were pretty great. And if you don't remember my predictions, and you did see the prediction video and want a refresher, they looked a lot like this. And truthfully, honestly, the record will show. I didn't do too bad at all. I know. You're expecting a bad prediction review. I think I only got 2 wrong on this one. Colorado won the West Division, also won the President's Trophy by a mere tiebreaker. They had fewer losses than Vegas did. I wasn't too surprised. I mean, I'm glad they took it down to the wire as far as home ice throughout the entirety of the playoffs is concerned. All in all, I mean, it was always going to be a 1-2 between Colorado and Vegas, so I'm glad the right team came out on top. Again, Vegas is number 2. They should be number 1, but they're not. And just because they only finished second in the division does not necessarily mean that's a reflection of how they're going to do in the playoffs. Got to remember, I've said this time and time again, postseason's a completely different story. So, you know how that goes. Minnesota came in 3rd. Oy, oy, oy. That, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought new GM, new structure, they were going to go down to the bottom and they're going to have to build their way up. But I didn't realize Kirill Kaprizov or the rookie goalie, Kapanen, I think his name was, they took center stage as far as rookies is concerned. And momentum rode their way every beat of the season. So not an actual surprise. St. Louis finishing 4th kind of was. I mean, they were still riding the high. They've been riding the high for a while. And I thought for sure they were going to do a lot better than 4th. I thought for sure 3rd. I mean, Binnington's not quite done, and Berube can still coach the heck out of these guys. But no, we only get a 4th. Outside the bubble, and I kind of figured this was going to happen, was Arizona's coming in 5th. It'd be interesting to see what happens to Arizona going forward, knowing next season they'll be at a much, much, much tougher division. But they have to figure out their priorities too first. I mean, they need a new coach. So whoever they bring in is going to have to bring in a whole new culture. But we'll see how that goes next season. LA came in 6th. Not surprised. Couldn't see them finishing any lower than 8th. Couldn't see them finishing any higher than 6th. Gave them the benefit of the doubt. And I wasn't wrong. San Jose coming in 7th was a bit of a surprise to me. I figured at least one California team was going to make the playoffs, but San Jose just looks burnt. Burnt, something's got to change in San Jose. I mean, personal accolades aside, you got to think Marlowe's done in San Jose. If his career isn't done, depends on if anybody picks him up. Carlson's already said he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild, so what does that mean for Carlson? And the rumor is Burns won't be there, as Seattle might pick him, and I'll get into that when I figured to go over my mock expansion draft. But San Jose went from a semi-rebuild to a full rebuild in a matter of 56 games. So interesting to see how that goes. Anaheim finishing last. I figured they'd finish last overall in the league, but I gave the Sabres too much credit. I tend to do that sometimes. Any team with Dallas Eakins as head coach does not necessarily fare out well, but they'll learn, and whether or not Eakins comes in next season or if they decide to cut their losses and try someone else out, who knows. But Anaheim's another interesting story because, I mean, you don't know who's going to stick around. You don't know who's going to be in and out. You don't know who's going to be selected in the expansion draft. But I don't know, for Anaheim, it'll be interesting to see what the offseason holds for them. But all in all, that was how the predictions went. Like I said, I went 6 for 8. So percentage wise, I think that's like 80%. And I can assure you, this is the closest of all 4 divisions this season that I actually got close to perfect. The North doesn't look that good, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So this is 149, Trevs Hockey Show. Well, thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're right here. It means you've watched all the way through. So you might as well go ahead and like that. You know where the subscribe button is. You know what I want. You know where we're going. Subscribing makes you feel good. Let's do it up. Socials in the description down below. Moving forward, I have a playoff prediction video for you, and I have another trophy video for you. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for more videos from the Trev. Later.